With this session update, I'm Shannon Lurkey. Governor Walz extended peacetime emergency powers related to the COVID-19 pandemic on March 15th. Today, the Senate debated a resolution to end the governor's emergency powers. Here are highlights from the debate.
Everywhere you turn, every part of your life has been simply waiting for an announcement from the governor. And today, members, voting to remove the emergency powers is important. But it is a reflection of the growing optimism that the people of Minnesota have. The fact that over 2 million vaccines have already been distributed in Minnesota. I believe the number is 76% of people over 65 have already got the vaccine. That was where the real serious danger was, where the vast majority of all the deaths occurred was 65 and over. Well, Mr. President, those people that wanted the vaccine have received the vaccine. There may be a few more left, but frankly, that is really good news. And what's happening around the state, you can go to hospital where there are 0 people needing an ICU bed because of COVID. Many hospitals, 0. I mean, I think it's something like 7 beds for ICU beds for COVID. I mean, it's next to nothing. That is really, really good news. And as we move through that period where people that had COVID before the vaccine that are over 65, as we move through that cycle, the deaths are going to go down and down and down, and that is awesome news for Minnesota. So what is then this about, removing the emergency powers? What does it mean? Well, it doesn't mean an end of the seriousness of COVID. We need to pay attention to it. But what it does signal to Minnesota is that the legislative branch is now working with the governor on all of the issues that we deal with.
One of the points I need to stress for Minnesotans is this: we lose money if we end the peacetime emergency. We've talked about it on this floor, but allow me to draw the members' attention to one simple example. Because we're in a peacetime emergency, we receive SNAP assistance, Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. Helps feed low-income families, helps support our farmers. Long-standing success with the program, long-standing benefit to Minnesotans. The emergency declaration allows us to receive these federal funds, $31.5 million a month. Members, we would lose that if you vote yes on this concurrent resolution and the House adopts it. How many families does this affect? The SNAP program benefits 174,000 households in Minnesota.
When you have an infection and you get a prescription for a bottle of antibiotics, you're reminded you have to take every pill in the bottle. And often the infection that you have starts to feel better, and a lot of people abandon those antibiotics, and sure enough, the infection returns. So I think we need to listen to the advice of healthcare providers right now with regard to the pandemic. And while we might want to set aside the bottle of antibiotics, the infection isn't quite through yet. So just in case you're thinking about a good healthcare metaphor, that would be one.
I'm hearing about people worried about the end of the eviction moratorium and what that will look like for families and for landlords just weeks until we get federal money that will help bring those families and those landlords whole. If we end emergency powers now, before we have received that money, before the good bipartisan work that we are doing in the Housing Committee can actually come to create that off-ramp that is necessary to keep families safe and to protect the landlords that help house our families all across the state of Minnesota, we will have done a disservice to those families.
Why in the world would the Department of Health slash Winona County's vaccine allotment? Well, it turns out that they base their prioritization on how well a county is doing based on their vaccine distributions. So in this case, Winona County is doing a phenomenal job of distributing COVID-19 vaccines to local residents. But the Department of Health penalized them for doing a good job. Think about that, members. They got penalized for doing a good job. Instead of penalizing Winona County for doing a good job, I would encourage the Minnesota Department of Health to call on Winona County, learn about their knowledge and their expertise and the experiences they're having, and perhaps they can use that to do better in other parts of the state. But members, herein lies the larger issue. It is time for the governor to relinquish his emergency powers and start engaging us, the legislature, and start engaging the people of the state of Minnesota.
Who's in charge today of the safety in Minnesota? Because we have been taken out of the decision-making process. The governor has total emergency powers, but yet he is in quarantine, the lieutenant governor is in quarantine. Who's in charge? Who's making the decisions? Because the power for decision-making has been taken out of our hands. The very people who were elected to keep the state of Minnesota safe. Who's keeping us safe today? With the governor. Does he have COVID? I don't know if he has COVID, but he's under quarantine. What if he gets sick? What if he has COVID? What if the lieutenant governor has COVID? Isn't that what this is all about?
There are so many good bills in the House that have passed all committees and are ready to come here. Well, guess what? We haven't had hearings on any of those bills. Environment, Health and Human Services, Education, Transportation, the list go on. Why? Because the Senate majority is not doing their job. And you know what? Because they are fighting the governor. Because every single session that we have is dedicated for hours and hours to talk about the governor.
Right now, the governor sets the legislature aside, even though we're designated a co-equal branch in the state constitution. And you want to continue to keep the governor solely in charge over Minnesotans.
Rather troubling comments that we would lift emergency powers when we reached herd immunity. 80% of our population has to be vaccinated before we're going to lift emergency powers. That's startling. We do not have a vaccine approved for children. How do we get to 80% without a vaccine approved for children, which puts us into August or September? Here's another concern. What if COVID acts more like influenza in its immune response and durability? So every fall, we would have to get to 80% of our population vaccinated if herd immunity becomes the standard?
This issue will not go away until emergency powers go away. Working together, the legislative branch and the executive branch is the strength of the legislative process, and when we don't have that, the governor is prone to make mistakes. I think any governor is prone to make mistakes, but certainly many of the decisions related to COVID that he made by himself, people can look back now and say, why did you do that?
There being 38 ayes and 29 nays, the motion prevails and the resolution is adopted.
To continue following these issues and more, watch legislative coverage Monday through Friday on the PBS Minnesota channel or visit our website, www.senate.mn/media.